In March 2016, my sister-in-law was diagnosed with terminal cancer. She was just 2 years older than me, and it was a massive shock to all of us. And it made me think about what I was doing with my life. I'd often talked about leaving my job and maybe setting up my own business. And I kept thinking, oh, well, now's not the right time. Now's not the right time. But this made me realise that there's never a right time. And when my daughter sent me a text saying, just leave, Mum, the job is making you miserable. Just leave, we'll find another way of earning the income that we need to earn. Don't worry about it. I handed in my notice. I left my well-paid marketing agency job and set up Quercus Marketing. And the business originally was a marketing consultancy, a virtual agency. So I was providing strategy and planning and consultancy to small businesses and working with web designers, creatives, copywriters and social media experts to deliver what those clients needed to improve their marketing. And I loved it. And the first client I started to work with were so lovely. They were a small family-owned business and there was so much opportunity. There was so much that they could be doing to improve their marketing and grow their business that I threw myself into it and gave them loads and loads of ideas, and we started working together. But after a few months, they started going a bit quiet and a bit reticent, and eventually they just stopped working with me. And the problem was, I had made my biggest mistake, my first mistake, and probably the biggest. I wasn't really listening to them. I was used to working with clients that had really big budgets and, more importantly, enormous teams of people to deliver the marketing. So working with these guys who had a tiny budget but also a very, very small team, and most of them were doing something other than marketing as part of their job as well, I was trying to deliver an Aston Martin solution for them, and they just needed a Ford Focus. In fact, possibly even just a push bike. My whole approach, my pricing, my model, the way I worked with people was completely wrong for these small businesses that I wanted to work with. So I had to rethink. My husband is a very patient and tolerant man, but there was only so much income he can earn by himself. And with this client gone, there was a big gap in my income. So I threw myself into networking. I was charging all over the Southwest, doing networking breakfasts, lunches, evenings, often a couple of times in a day. And my client work that I still had was left until the evenings and the weekends, which wasn't great, and especially wasn't great for me. But I carried on and I was busy, networking, meeting loads of business owners. And I actually met quite a few business owners who had wasted a lot of money and time and energy on marketing that was never going to work for them. And I could see why it wasn't going to work for them, but they were tiny businesses, they were sole traders, and I didn't see how I could help them. In January 2017, I hit a brick wall, almost literally. I couldn't get up the stairs without needing to lie down. I was out of breath, my brain was foggy, I couldn't concentrate on anything, and I was quite scared. I felt exhausted all of the time and could barely function. I had loads of tests and they all came back negative, which was great on one hand, not so great on the other hand, because I was still feeling completely exhausted and we didn't know what it was. Eventually, the GP diagnosed chronic fatigue syndrome and really just said, it's just time. You will get better. We don't know when. You just need to wait. So I had clients to look after. I had to earn some money. But actually at that point, I was just about to chuck in the towel. I thought, I can't do this. I can't work when some days I can barely get out of bed. But I was advised to let my clients know, to be honest with them and to tell them what the situation was, and to get myself more time to deliver the projects, so the odd hour or two that I could work in the day would be focused on doing that. And my clients were fine. And so that's what I did. I struggled on, just getting to the end of these projects that I had in hand. And then that was it. There was nothing. There was no income coming in. There were no new clients waiting in the wings because I wasn't doing any promotion of my own business. I certainly wasn't networking. And that was it. So I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time lying in bed. And I started to think about those business owners that I'd met who were trying to do marketing but not approaching it in the right way, just because they didn't know how to, they didn't know where to start. And I also started to think about what I missed from my old world. When I worked in agencies, the thing I loved most was seeing my team develop and grow. So I was motivated by growing my team, watching them get promoted, watching them move on to better jobs or develop their careers with other companies after they left us. That gave me a really warm, fuzzy, proud mum feeling. I loved it. That's what motivated me. Not meeting financial targets, growing my team. So I started to think about how I could combine that with my marketing expertise and develop a business along those lines. So that's when I started working as a marketing mentor. Fast forward to today, and I work with dozens and dozens of clients now. I work with some clients on a one-to-one basis, helping them develop a marketing plan that works for them. I run group workshops, and I run a membership program called the Marketing Sanctuary. I love it. So when a member of the Marketing Sanctuary messages me to say that they've had an ideal client contact them on LinkedIn, they've had a conversation with them on the phone, and they've got a piece of work out of it, that makes me feel so, so proud. When I see someone who has done a Facebook Live after being absolutely terrified of putting themselves in front of the camera, that makes me feel amazing, and that is why I do what I do. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed by marketing, or if you're not sure where to start with it, just get in touch and ask me about the Marketing Sanctuary. I would love to tell you all about it. Message me and find out more. Speak to you soon.